So Congressman Cummings is vowing to fight to the death to save what he calls U.S. democracy from Donald Trump. So, are conservatives waging a war on the FBI? California Congressman and Democrat Ted Lieu joins me now. Welcome, sir. The GOP's Bob Corker, he said he's warning of an uprising if Mr. Trump does fire Mr. Mueller. Will there be an uprising?
Well, thank you for that question. First, let me wish you and your viewers a happy holidays.
Thank you.
And on your very serious question, I believe there will be an uprising. Because this is greater than just about one person or one special counsel. It's about the foundations of our democracy and the concept that no one is above the rule of law.
So who's organizing that uprising if Mr. Trump fires the special counsel? And by the way, Mr. Trump says he has no plans to do that.
No one is really organizing it. It would simply be the people taking the streets, as they did during Watergate, as they did during the Vietnam War. And I just want to talk about the investigation itself. The notion that it's some sort of democratic coup is really ridiculous. It's being led by three people. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, a Republican appointed by Republican presidents twice. Special Counsel Mueller, a Republican appointed by a Republican president. And FBI Director Christopher Wray, a Republican appointed by a Republican president.
Yeah, but just going back, and I hear you, just going back to what Elijah Cummings said. He says, we have a plan. What is the plan? We're ready. When he says we're ready, what does that mean?
I can't speak for Elijah Cummings. My view of what he said is if Donald Trump were to try to get Robert Mueller fired, that the American people would take to the streets. As we saw in the Women's March, that was largely organic. It's not as if, you know, there was sort of this concentrated effort to all of a sudden have all these people turn out. All these people just happened to turn out on January 20th.
I ask you these questions because I have heard that the most progressive wing of the Democratic Party wants lawmakers in Congress like yourself to start looking into impeachment proceedings and how to get that done. So in your mind, should the impeachment process begin against President Trump?
So here's my view. Impeachment is one of the gravest responsibilities of Congress other than our power to declare war. My view is it should never be the first option. It's got to be something that we only do based on the facts and evidence. And we need to let the special counsel investigation...
Do you feel pressure from your constituents to impeach the president?
Oh, yes, all the time. And I tell them the same thing. It's got to be done on the facts and on the law. And we need to let the special counsel investigation complete its course.
So is there an effort among more moderate Democrats to say, you know, tap the brakes, progressive wing, we're not going there quite yet? Is there a butting of heads, so to speak?
Well, I think different people do have different opinions, but I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, let's let the special counsel investigation finish, because it's a very easy answer for us if the investigation comes out and shows some really horrible facts, and then we can cross that bridge when we get there.
So on the other side of the coin, Republicans say, you know, there is stuff to investigate within the FBI, namely that agent who was working for Mr. Mueller who wrote terrible things about the president, at the same time doing an investigation on the president. Mr. Mueller got rid of him, but still, who knows how many more are writing emails like that we haven't seen.
So Robert Mueller did exactly the right thing by removing that agent once he found out about it. By the way, that agent also said bad things about Democrats as well. So it's clear that we're all human beings. FBI agents and prosecutors have political opinions. I'm a former prosecutor, and my experience has been that law enforcement and prosecutors, when they enter the office, they set aside their political opinions and they do the job before them.
So you don't think the FBI is tainted in any way and doesn't warrant any kind of investigation?
Not at all, and it's really disgraceful, the attacks on the professionalism of the FBI. It's actually quite demeaning. So, for example, FBI Director Christopher Wray has given $39,000 of political contributions exclusively to Republicans. But I trust him to do his job, because just because you exercise your First Amendment right to give political contributions doesn't mean you can't act fairly in a criminal investigation. And yes, some people on Mueller's team gave political contributions to Democrats, but I believe they can act fairly, just as I believe FBI Director Christopher Wray can act fairly.
So when do you believe this investigation into Russian collusion will be over? It's weighing, I mean, it weighs heavy, I think, with the majority of Americans.
Yes. So with comparison, Ken Starr's investigation lasted 4.5 years with no indictments. Robert Mueller's investigation has been less than a year. There's been 2 guilty pleas, 2 indictments. I don't know when it's going to complete, but I do know he would not have done a plea agreement with Michael Flynn and a cooperation agreement if he didn't intend for Michael Flynn to give information on other people. So I expect
you think
more
that will
indictments.
expedite things, and maybe it'll be over within what? Care to make a guess?
I can't make a guess, but I do expect more indictments because of the guilty plea of Michael Flynn.
Congressman Lieu, thank you so much for stopping by, and happy holidays to you too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.